Not Your Professional Walkthroughs channel presents.
Anna was training to be a veterinarian when the war broke out. The Germans were only 20 miles from Paris when she received a letter from her father. He was in good health, but implored her not to return home to Belgium until the war's end. Patience, however, was not one of Anna's strong suits.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Valiant Hearts here on Your Professional Walkthroughs channel with me, your host Max. On today's episode we will start off the second chapter of Valiant Hearts and we will be playing as Anna. So currently we are in Paris. Once again, I will try to go for all the collectibles, and well, there aren't that many in here, although right now we can see one. Now first of all, I have to say that the creative decision behind making the pigeons look like French soldiers is super cute. So, on the right upper corner, the two pigeons on the rooftop are sitting by one of the collectibles. One of the messenger pigeons has also taken out one of the keys, which, well, without it we are unable to leave Anna's apartment. And for a vet student, she's doing quite well. I guess there were no student loans back then. Anyhow, once we open up this cabinet, there we will find the first collectible which Anna can collect. So this would be the inkwell. You can read about it, and let's continue. So we will be interacting with this pile of coal here in order to obtain a couple of things. First of all, I need to throw the piece of coal to drop that collectible. And now we're gonna have to wait for the pigeon to get above the balcony so that if I hit him with the piece of coal, the key will be dropped. Damn it, I totally missed. On top of the balcony, otherwise if it would fall down onto the street, well, Anna would be basically stuck for the rest of the war in her apartment. So now that we have the key, we are able to leave. Here is one of our neighbor's daughters, and right behind her is another collectible. So this will be basically a bit shorter mission here, but I mean, for collectibles, this one is the trickiest one, and that's the one which we managed to get off the roof. Okay, so something is going outside, so let's see what's happening. I'm not really sure if this is actually a thing, but the fun thing is that a lot of taxis from Paris, from the town of Paris, I don't know why I'm trying to pronounce it Paris. Anyhow, they were acquisitioned for transport of the soldiers. Now I do recall that also lots of soldiers did use bicycles quite heavily when it came to First World War. And here is that pesky collectible which we managed to get off the roof. So Anna will have to get mobile and she would need to acquire a taxi in order to get out of Paris. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me and why do I keep trying to pronounce it that way. I just apologize. Okay, so this taxi is busted. The soldier there gave up to fix it, but here we can find the last collectible. So obviously, if I were to pick up the wheel, I can put it here on the taxi. But here, behind the sign, is the last collectible. So this would be the newspaper. I know, I kind of did manage to run through the collectibles super fast, but... Okay, so we do need water. The problem here is that in order to get water, we will need one of these. I think we... No. We will require this, because this has the triangular shape. So now we can actually get water. We're gonna have to run back into the home in order to get that bottle. Okay, so the girl had some accident, probably scraped her knee, and here we will start to run into sequences which Anna will have quite often during her playthrough. So let's see if I can help the poor girl.
Ok. Courage, Nebo.
So this was so far okay, but this is gonna get much trickier. Because I mean, this is just like a scraped knee, you know? Okay, so she's gonna put down the glass bottle. We're gonna take it. We're gonna run outside. Still have that lever. Really have to be careful here. Okay, we are gonna take that water. We are gonna cool down the car. We have to switch now to the square shaped tool. Gonna put the cart down and we can ride off onto the front line. So once again, we are gonna have a bit of a tricky situation here. Once again, the audio is totally disabled just because, well, I really would hate to have my channel taken down. Whoa! What is this guy doing? This is just terrible. Look at this. Lady driver is kicking ass. Whoa! Okay, someone has to explain these barrels on the roadside. This is just idiotic. Whoa! Okay, how are these soldiers on the side of the car not taken out by whatever is passing next to us? Holy smoke. This is one heavy duty traffic.
September 7th, 1914. Taxis drove all night. Anna was proud to help the soldiers reach the front line. When Anna arrived at her destination, she discovered the horrible truth with her own eyes.
Okay, so not exactly sure how this is organized, because usually if you are a part of the infantry, you belong to a certain group of soldier. You know, like a certain regiment or so stuff. If, however, you just drive off on a bunch of acquired taxis to the front line, you know, some sort of really black humor kind of Uber, you don't belong to anyone, you don't have any orders or anything, so I'm not really sure how this would work, and I'm quite sure it would create quite the messy situation at the front line. Anyhow, once again, we will try to get all the collectibles, and this time there's more of them, so Anna's gonna have a bit of a harder situation here.
Vas-y.
Okay, so let's see if we can provide some first aid.
Hey. Ok. Courage, Niveau.
Not really sure if I will be able to talk too much during these sequences.
Voilà, Sia. Allez, courage.
Dieu vous bénisse, Adèle.
7 months went by. Driven by compassion, Anna devoted herself, body and soul, to healing the wounded and the sick. Every life saved was another small victory over the war. The conflict, however, raged on.
Okay, so we are in Belgium, by the town of Ypres, which means somewhere around here should be also Freddy and Carl and Emile. And Anna's gonna have her hands full. I mean, after 7 months of providing medical help to soldiers, I'm no longer sure if she is actually qualified to, you know, be a veterinarian. Okay, so when it comes to collectibles, we're gonna try to cover them. But first, let's head into the tent. Okay, so this might look like a case of amputation. And here in this locker is where we will find our first collectible, a pair of socks. Now there are more of these lockers. There's even the saw. Not really sure if I want to go through this, but okay, I guess.
Allez, dépêche-toi. Oh non. Vas-y. Ok.
Oh damn. Wait, what is she cutting off?
Voilà. Allez, courage. Courage, Niveau. Pas mieux. Allez. Voilà.
Dieu vous bénisse, Adèle.
Yeah, let's not do that. Okay, so here we have a request for some water, and that should be arranged. So we will need to put this over here and run outside here, and there is a new soldier who will require some crutches in order to actually be able to walk. Now once we pull this down, we should get that water for the soldier. But since we are over here, there is another collectible. Now the horse's head that keeps moving is kind of blocking it off. But if you go over here, you will be able to come across the nurse's manual. Not really sure if the nurses had the time to read, but who knows. Oh yeah, we're gonna definitely gonna have to get that scarf, so we might have to pick up that saw yet again. So the water has been collected, so we can actually pick up the bottle, drop it off for the soldier, and I'm not really sure if you were able to see it, but under this car or truck there is another collectible. This is probably the easiest one to find, but we gotta do what we gotta do in order to collect them all. And the fun thing is that close to this one, what we need to do is crawl down here under the tunnel, or the bridge, sorry, and here at this point is another collectible. So this would be a letter from a Prussian soldier. For those of you who don't know, Prussia was something that eventually turned into the German Empire in the later 20th century. Or, well, not exactly. I would have to go through like hundreds of years of German history in order to properly explain it, but you should get the point. Okay, so we're gonna have to do a couple of things, but let's go fetch the other collectible. So here we see that a soldier is trying to bury his fellow comrade. Oh, you just did not sit down to get some attention from the pretty nurse, right? Okay, so here's the cross which I will need, but we are looking to get the collectible, and in the background I actually see that the combat is going on and there are more soldiers dying. But Anna can run all the way to the right side of the map to find the Lyscone. Obviously, during the war, hygiene and other stuff were suffering, so parasites and other things can spread out and wreak havoc amongst your soldiers. Okay, I still feel like we are missing one thing, and I need to find it. Okay, and I just remembered where it is. It's one of those tricky situations, but I will manage. Okay, I will be right by you. Just hold on, buddy. So the cross has been placed. We can take the shovel, and this can be used. Really not sure if there isn't one more thing that can be done here. Just wanted to double check that I cover everything. Okay. So the last collectible, before we move on and we help out the soldier, we need to run all the way over here at the start. And here is the sneaky shrapnel shell remnants. So this is the last collectible. Obviously it should have been the first one that I have collected, but yeah. So let's help out the soldier. And hold on. The saw. I'm gonna need to pick up the saw. I'm gonna have to do a few more things around here at the front lines. I'm really sure if I can saw through this, but I feel like I definitely need this weird looking scarf. We might be able to use it as the bandage for the soldier. So let's go and do that.
Ok.
Okay, this is going a bit faster.
Voilà, c'est. Voilà. Pas mieux.
Hey,
Courage, Nebo.
kind of missed that one. Yeah, I was quite sure there is one more thing that needs to be done somewhere here under the bridge, and that's the German soldier who apparently somehow survived in these horrible, horrible conditions. Wow, that's probably morphine. Come on, how did I miss that?
Oh my god.
Allez, courage. Voilà.
Yeah, I'm not exactly doctor, but if you pull out a bullet from a patient, I'm quite sure the next thing you do is not to give them something to drink. Probably have to close the wound so he
The
won't
French
bleed out.
officers were talking about Belgium. The German army was about to experiment with a new weapon near Ypres, Anna's hometown. Anna got en route to warn her father about the imminent danger. Reaching the outskirts of the city, Anna was greeted by the screams of sirens. The deadly gas was already here.
And unfortunately, this will have to wait for another episode. I do hope that you did enjoy the start of the second chapter here on Not Your Professional Walkthroughs channel. For more content, please check out the channel or consider subscribing. I publish episodes on a weekly basis, so you will always have something to watch. I just work with a highly limited hardware currently, so please keep that in mind, as my selection of games is therefore heavily restricted, but I will still try to put up decent content anyhow. So yeah. Thank you for watching. If you have any tips, tricks, or anything which you would like to discuss, please leave it in the comment section. I will try to get back to you, and I will see you at the next one. Thank you for watching, stay safe, and bye-bye.